So have you ever stopped to think about how languages can have literally millions of words? I mean, do we just memorize every single one? Well, turns out the answer is no, not even close. Most words you see aren't just memorized. They're actually built piece by piece, kind of like a Lego set. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you the blueprint.
Right? And that brings us to this really fascinating puzzle. When you think about it, we don't have millions and millions of unique ideas. So why on earth do we have so many words? It's because language has a secret, super efficient system for taking one core concept and just spinning it out into dozens of different meanings.
And at the absolute heart of this whole system is what's called the palabra primitiva, or as we'd say, the root word. This is our fundamental Lego brick. It's the core piece of meaning that everything else gets built on top of.
So, what is this secret code? Well, it's a process called derivation, and that's just the fancy name for the set of rules that lets us snap these little elements onto a root word to create a whole family of new, related words. Okay, let's see how it actually works.
You have to see this in action. We start with our root, feliz, which just means happy. Simple enough. Now we add a little something to the beginning. That's a prefix, and boom, we get infeliz, which means unhappy. Okay, now let's add something to the end, a suffix, and we get felizmente, happily. And get this, we can even use both at the same time to create infelizmente, which means unfortunately. How cool is that? One simple root, four totally distinct ideas.
So the two main tools in our word-building kit are prefixes and suffixes, and the only real difference is where they go. A prefix comes before the root word, and a suffix, you guessed it, comes after it. It's a really simple distinction, but what they do is incredibly powerful.
First up, let's talk about prefixes. I kind of think of these guys as the modifiers. You stick them right on the front of a word, and their main job is to take that core meaning and just tweak it, change it, or sometimes flip it completely upside down.
And what's really amazing is just how efficient this is. You know, just a few little letters can do all these very specific jobs. They can signal the opposite of something, they can show movement in or out, they can tell you something is happening again, or even give you a sense of togetherness.
By far, one of the biggest and most powerful jobs for a prefix is simply creating an opposite, expressing negation. It's the absolute fastest way for a language to say not.
Just look at this example. Contente means happy or content. But you add that little prefix des right to the front, and you get descontente. You've just completely reversed the meaning. The speaker wasn't happy at all. They were unhappy.
Okay, another really crucial role for prefixes is showing direction or movement. This is a super efficient way for language to describe whether something is coming or going, without needing a whole extra word.
And hey, this is an example we all see in English constantly, right? The prefix im signals movement in, like to import goods, and ex signals movement out, like to export them. It's the same root word, but opposite directions, all thanks to that little prefix. Okay, so now let's look at the other side of the word, suffixes.
So if prefixes are the modifiers, then suffixes are the creators. They do way more than just tweak the meaning. They can fundamentally change the type of word we're using, turning an idea into a person or an action into a quality. They are true game changers.
I mean, just look at this range. Suffixes are the tools we use to build the words for jobs, to describe qualities, to name where someone's from, and even to show the size of something or to pack in a ton of emotion. Their creative power is just immense.
So let's zoom in on one of the most common jobs for a suffix, creating the words for what people do for a living.
This is such a great example. The root word here is jornal, which means newspaper. Now, add the suffix ado, and you get jornaleiro. That's the person who sells the newspapers. But switch it out for the suffix ista, and you get jornalista, the person who writes for the newspaper. Two different jobs, both from one single root.
Suffixes are also masters of making things abstract. They can take a simple adjective, like rapid, and magically transform it into a noun that describes the quality of being rapid.
So here, the root is rapid. By tacking on that ez suffix, we create a brand new word, rapidez, which means speed or swiftness. See what happened? It's no longer just describing something, it is the quality itself. And that's how language builds these big abstract concepts from simple descriptions.
But okay, now we get to what I think is the most subtle and fascinating power of suffixes. They don't just change meaning or word type, they can actually inject feeling, judgment, and raw emotion directly into a word. This is where it gets really good.
And this right here is the aha moment. Take a suffix like iña. You add it to casa, which is house, and you get casinha. It means little house, and it's full of affection, right? Like a cozy little cottage. But add a similar suffix to mulher, which is woman, and you can get mulherzinha. This can be used to express disdain or contempt, the exact same type of suffix, but the context gives it a completely different emotional punch.
This chart just illustrates that emotional range perfectly. Look at the top. The suffix "l" on dinheiro, money, gives you dinheirão. That's not just money, that's a fortune. It's pure exaggeration. Then you've got that warm affection in casinha, and you can go all the way down to the negative disdain in mulherzinha. All of that complex human feeling is coded right into the word's ending. It's incredible.
So why does any of this matter? Because understanding this stuff, this process of derivation, isn't just some boring grammar lesson. It's like you're gaining a new superpower. Seriously, once you start to see this hidden code, you're going to see it everywhere, in every single sentence you read or hear.
And this is not some weird quirk of the Portuguese language. No way. English is built on the exact same system. I mean, think about it. The prefix re, like in redo or rebuild. The suffix nilly to make adverbs like quickly, or ist to name all kinds of jobs like artist or scientist. It is the same universal blueprint.
And that really brings us to the single most important thing to take away from all this. Once you learn to spot the root word, you hold the key. You can suddenly understand dozens of related words without ever having to memorize each one. It is the ultimate vocabulary shortcut.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question. Now that you know the secret, what patterns, what prefixes and suffixes, what secret codes are hiding in the words that you use every single day? Go on, start looking. I promise you, you're going to be amazed at what you find.